I thought it was a good day in Padres land in Peoria, and mainly because Nick Pivetta made his Padres Cactus League debut, and it went pretty darn well. He pitched into the third inning. He struck out the side in the first. I thought there was really good pitch movement on his pitches. He was confident up there, and he used a lot of his arsenal. Now, we could be seeing some adjustments made and seeing some new pitches, as I'm reading in the UT, in Kevin Acey's UT article. But, I mean, I'm going to play this video right now that I was posting. Here's his first strikeout. I don't know why Lamont Wade Jr. thought that that was a ball there. Don't know what he's really looking at there. But there was that. And then there were these two. These are both in the first inning to finish off the first inning. He had a walk. That was one walk, the only walk that he had, and that was in that first. But yeah, just making some hitters look pretty silly, off-balance swings. That breaking ball was looking pretty darn nasty at times. And so this is pretty much like the best that we could have hoped for. Obviously, what matters the most is he came out of this healthy. But to add someone like Nick Pivetta, who's a vet, who's been there before, and should we be concerned if you look at his 4+ ERA when it was at Fenway in comparison to what it could be at Petco Park? And you add him to Ruben Niebla and have Ruben work with him, and Darvish on the staff and other guys that he can maybe take some things from. And I think we could see an improved year, hopefully years, but an improved year numbers wise from Pivetta. It's someone that is going to give it his all. I mean, he's competing his butt off in spring training and isn't happy when he's not throwing a strike in a spring training game. He said after the game to Kevin, and I assume other members of the media, I felt good. Pivetta said after striking out 4 and walking 1 in 2 2/3 innings at the beginning of what ended up a 1-1 tie with the Giants. The other half of the split squad lost like 16-1 or something crazy against the Cubs, but it's spring training. First outing, it was just nice to get out there. Everything feels good, feel healthy, feel strong. I think we just can kind of continue to build from here on out. Obviously, limit the walks better, and then just continue to hone the craft. So I love that quote because he walked one guy, and it was one of the first batters that he faced. And he mentions, obviously, limit the walks better. It's not like this isn't Blake Snell. He didn't walk 4 guys. So it's just the competitiveness. It's the perfectionist in him. I have that a little bit. So I love that from Pivetta. And obviously, being without Joe Musgrove, that is a huge absence. I know it's not an absence in the dugout, in the clubhouse, because he's going to be there. But you want Joe Musgrove on the mound. That competitiveness, that dog, as the cool kids may like to say nowadays. You want that. And Pivetta has that, is what it seems like. If, we're believing Xander Bogaerts, who I have no reason to not believe him, former teammate of Nick Pivetta, and just guys that have watched this guy pitch, ultimate competitor, first day in that media scrum. He was mentioning, and I'm not quoting him directly, but he mentioned how, all I care about is winning. Of course, he wanted to get his value in free agency, but all he cares about is winning once he has that. And he's on a contending team, and he's going to do whatever it takes, is what it seems like. And so, while I'd like to have 2 of those great competitors, Pivetta and Musgrove, in the rotation, if you're going to replace Musgrove with somebody, it's awesome that it's that, competitor that is Nick Pivetta. I'm seeing some Matt Latos in his delivery. Maybe I'm crazy. If you have a comparison, you can let me know in the comments. But I'm seeing just like and I'm playing this video here, just that arm down, and this was a slide step, so maybe that's because it's an 0-2 pitch, run on first. Maybe not the best comparison. Let me pull up. That was a slide step 2. Let me pull up strikeout number 1. Yeah, I think this would be. So, look, I'm seeing Latos just with this delivery here, where the arm, it's down and he's hiding the ball behind that right leg there. And then he's pretty high over the top on the follow through. I'll try to make like a split screen with Latos and Pivetta because that's what I thought of. I probably got to go pull up some more Latos stuff, but that's what I thought of. I'm not saying like the follow through and everything is just like him, but watching this today live like I did, it took me a couple minutes of thinking who it reminded me of because I knew it reminded me of somebody. And I think Latos is the guy that this reminds me of a little bit. And Latos was a competitor, as we know. Didn't he get in a brawl either last year or a couple years ago in some random, was it independent ball or maybe another league? But that's a competitor. And it seems like we've got a competitor in Nick Martinez, sorry, Nick Pivetta. And I'm reading in Kevin's article about the pitch mix. And let's see here. Where is it? The Padres believe that Petco Park, which tends to hold many fly balls that Fenway Park does not, will help Pivetta. They're also working on some of his pitches, including some he has not thrown in a while. Interesting. Pivetta on Tuesday used the same 5 pitches he employed last season: 4-seam fastball, sweeper, curveball, cutter, and slider. But in his career, he has also thrown a split finger fastball, changeup, knuckle curve, and sinker. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, so if he adds, let's say, a nasty changeup, because we've seen pitchers under Ruben Niebla have a nasty changeup, or whatever, a sinker, or a split finger fastball, something that looks the same out of his hand and can be nasty like that, and then you have the breaking ball that he was going with today. That's pretty. I think that would be pretty nasty. That's not someone that I want to face. Pivetta said, you could see whatever, anything can come out of anything. I mean, Darvish does it all the time. I think he was talking about like kind of making up pitches as he goes and just making new pitches and just farting around with some things, you know? Let's see. Niebla told Kevin, we're bringing back some shapes that he's done in the past. We are building still. We're trying to identify the ones he used to throw, free him up to do that a little bit more, and then be able to say, okay, this one you can make it a little bit more depthier. I like that word. Or we can make it open, it up. Or this one needs to complement this a little bit better. So we were still trying to shape him up a little bit. I mean, and let's remember, I mean, it's not like Niebla and Pivetta have been working together for months. It's a matter of weeks here. So I assume it's only going to get better from here. So I know it's one Cactus League outing, and I shouldn't be overreacting, but this could be a pretty darn good number 4 starter that the Padres get. And we'll see what happens, you know. Hopefully there's no injuries in the rotation, because if they can stay healthy and you've got, I don't want to make it seem like, by the way, that Cease and King aren't competitors. King, totally. Darvish, I mean, we see the fire too. I mean, we definitely saw it in the postseason. But we see that when he comes up with a big strikeout in the 6th or the 7th. So when you have these guys that are competitors and they're really talented, with Darvish, who could be in line, looks like he's in line to start opening day. And then you have Cease and you have King and then Pivetta. And then you can add a wrinkle with someone like Matt Waldron in the 5 spot. It's not the worst thing. And then it seems like they're going to have some good depth in that bullpen, even losing Tanner Scott. So, yeah, this pitching staff, I wasn't super happy with it, you know, most of the offseason. And I know, again, it's one Cactus League start. I could end up looking like a fool, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from Nick Pivetta. I'm liking the things that I'm reading about him. I want someone that cares and is going to go out there and compete his butt off, and that's what it seems like Pivetta is going to do. So, yeah, there we go. Niebla says the stuff is there, and being able to go out for the 3rd inning, I think, was a very positive thing for us. He's talking about today's outing. It just shows us how prepared he was coming in, and the ball was coming out pretty good out of his hands. So that was good to see. The breaking ball, seeing it up close, is a pretty good pitch. Yeah, I'd say so. It's a pretty good pitch. It was pretty darn nasty. Was this a breaking ball here? No. I still don't know why Lamont Wade Jr. thought that that was a ball. Like, what are you looking at there, dude? Don't know what you're looking at there. But here's the break. Balls off. I mean, this one here, was this ever a strike? Probably looked like one out of his hand. I could definitely see it there. Yeah, like right out of his hand. Maybe he thought that that was going to come towards him more, and then it just breaks off. That was what, Maldonado catching him today? Yeah, interesting. So that's what I've got. Positive reaction from me from Nick Pivetta today. And remember, Dylan Cease could be incorporating, or he is going to try to add a two-seamer. So that could help as well. Things could be looking pretty good with this pitching staff.